Hallmarkies podcast. I'm so excited today to bring you another one of our interviews of Hallmark talent. And I'm Rachel, and I'm here today with producer Beth Grossbard. We are talking about her work in producing a ton of your favorite Hallmark Christmas and otherwise movies, including the upcoming film All Summer Long. So exciting. Beth, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, goodness. Thank you for having me. I don't see myself as talent, so thank you for introducing me that way.
You're one of the first producers that we've been able to talk with. We've talked to some directors. We've talked to some really, really excited to talk with you. And what we like to do is ask all of our guests to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you ended up in your career, what inspired you to do what you do.
Oh, your podcast doesn't have enough time, but it's okay. I'll make it short and sweet. Okay. I came to California a while ago. Let's just say it like that. I don't need to keep everybody my age, but I'm not ashamed of it. And started doing publicity and marketing. And I worked with an amazing writer producer named David E. Kelly, who was kind of the inspiration for me moving on from doing what I was doing in marketing and publicizing his shows to finding stories and telling them myself. Uh-huh. It was the mid to late 90s at the time, and true stories were very, very hot. And being a former journalist and publicist, I just called everybody that I knew and said, I'm going to try to produce. And the fax machine, which we don't use anymore, rang off the hook with great true stories. And I found this story about a woman who, it's not very Hallmarkian, sorry, about a woman that had caught her own attacker, a rapist. Oh. And yeah, it was true. And I went in with an old-time producer named Freda Rothstein, who's since passed, and we sold it to ABC, and that was my first movie. So it took barely a year to get going. I'm very proud of that movie. It was a tough one. Uh-huh. It was called No One Could Protect Her. We did not pick that title. But that was the title that was assigned to us, like many are on networks, and it did very well. And next thing I knew, I was just producing. There were a lot of true stories. Awesome. I prefer books, ideas, scripts. Mm-hmm. True stories are very difficult sometimes because you have rights issues, and there's so many people that are involved. And it was just a natural progression for me, and I found myself lucky in doing Hallmarks, doing movies for all the networks. The big networks at the time, yeah, and then found myself at Hallmark in 2012-ish, 2013, working with Barbara Fisher and Liz Yost, and I've been there ever since. It's been wonderful.
That's great. So when you do a project for Hallmark, or any of these networks, I guess, is it typically they come to you and say, hey, we need someone to work on this project, or are you coming to them with, here's this idea, here's the thing that we think would be a good idea?
Well, most of the time I bring the stories to the network, and there are times when they have an orphan project, like a crowd media project that's been developed in-house. I did a couple of those for Hallmark and had a great experience on them as well, and met a lot of nice people doing that. But the majority of the time, because my slate is full, I sell to them, and some of these movies are the gifts that keep on giving. I did these movies, Christmas movies, years ago from CBS that wound up at Lifetime, and now we've done, I think, our third for Hallmark now, the Christmas. Yeah. I get lost on the names because there's so many. The Christmas Town with Candace Cameron Bure.
Yeah, that's your new one this year.
Yeah, that's coming out this year. Exciting. But before that, there was the Christmas Note and the Christmas Secret and the Christmas Hope and the Christmas Blessing and the Christmas Shoes, and they just keep giving. They're based on best-selling novels by an author named Donna Van Leer, and we've taken a little bit of liberty, as Donna would probably tell you, with the stories to make them right for Hallmark, let's say. Yeah. So, and the audience loves them.
Yeah. Yeah, because your first Christmas stuff was with the Christmas Shoes series, and and that was for PBS, and then Lifetime picked that up. So the Christmas Secret, and I'm very curious about these Christmas movies. Like, how hard is it to get that Christmas feel over everything when you're producing? Like, how do you coordinating all the different snow and everything? How do you?
Well, you really hit on it. You really hit on it, Rachel, because the snow, most of the time, not all the time, but in these instances, most of the time we're making these movies not in the winter, and snow is difficult wherever we are. We made one in the winter in Winnipeg, so it was 48 below, and Madeline Stowe's face was freezing. She was chattering so hard, and we were only allowed outside for 10 or 12 seconds at a time when we were filming. But pretty much, other than that, they've all been summer or at other times of the year, and it's the snow is the hardest thing to fake. You can fake, you can dress a town, you can light a town, you can create Christmas color effects and things everywhere, but the snow is just difficult. And we're doing that now on Christmas Town, and it's a lot of work. Let's just say that it's a lot of work, and to make it look real and acceptable and sellable to people, so they buy into it and they believe the fantasy. And that's our job, is to make sure that they don't know what's really there, which is a concrete street.
How long does that take to get it all set up and get the snow on and everything like that?
Well, if you do you bring in ice or fish ice. A lot of times we bring in fish ice and things like that. That's one thing, but it will melt in the summer. What that means is that we're doing a lot of visual effects.
Okay, yeah.
So after the movie is done, they address that, and it's a lot of work. Not by me. I just oversee and look at it, but there are people working to create art.
Yeah, and I would love to talk to one of those people. If you give them my information.
Let me see if I can find somebody for you.
I would love to get the 411 on all the holiday decorations and set design and all of that stuff. I've never been able to talk to somebody with that, but anyway, so I'm curious. So what exactly is the difference between an executive producer, a supervising producer, and just a producer?
Well, it depends. If you're in television, we're talking about television, right?
Yes.
An executive producer like myself is somebody that finds the project, develops the project, attaches the writer, finds the talent, works with the networks, and tries, and sells it basically. And then hires another producer, most of the time in Canada, because that's how we make our movies in Hallmark, and some of the times here in the States. I've done a few in the States, and puts another crew together, and that's all the pieces. You cast and brings financing to it. A supervising producer, it depends. Sometimes, in my case, that's been people that have been working in post or working on production with us. The line producer, is somebody that physically puts the company, the people together at the production company that we're using to produce the movie.
Okay. So in this case, with the new upcoming movie All Summer Long, it's based on a book. So did you find the book, and then, or how did you end up getting it?
Well, there's this lovely Christian author named Melody Carlson who gave me a library of her books to take into Hallmark. And this is the first one. Yeah. And this is the first one that we've done together. And I attached two wonderful writers, Sandy and Judy Berg, to adapt the book. And there were changes that had to be made. And I remember calling Melody and saying, Melody, the captain isn't a man anymore. It's a woman. Are you okay with that? And she went, sure, fine. That's a great idea. So, but, when you have a book, you have the basic story there. But a lot of times, just like with the Christmas Shoes books, you have to have creative license in order to tailor make it to the network that you're working for and the audience that you're speaking to, because sometimes there are things in these books that would not be appropriate for the venue where they're airing.
So are you just constantly reading scripts, reading books, things like that, trying to find the next idea?
Absolutely. Scripts.
That's really cool.
Writers. I talk to writers all the time. People that do have ideas call me with ideas, and I'll talk to anybody. Anybody can have a good idea, but it's making that idea, bringing it to fruition isn't easy, because sometimes somebody will have a great idea, but they're not the best writer, and they don't know the formula. People can write a book, but it's an art to writing a script, because you have to get things down in 80 some odd, 90 pages.
That's brilliant on Melody's part, because I was looking at her website that she's written over 200 books. That's what she said on her website. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. It's a lot of
and
books.
All great ideas.
Yeah.
All great ideas.
Smart. So smart.
Yeah. And she's a great person. Yeah. She's a lovely person.
And
patient, because it took us a couple of years to get this done.
I bet. You also did Love at Sea with our friend of the podcast, Nina Wyman, was the writer on that. And I know that one was really challenging because of the getting everything to work with the boat and everything like that. What was that like to produce?
Well, I think the production wasn't as hard as getting to where we had to get with the Royal Caribbean company, who I think it took me about 18 months to close that deal. And in the end, the network came up and helped with that legal department because there were so many things involved. But there's a lot of working pieces, and, you can plan to make a movie on a set, but you cannot plan, no matter how good you are. And we had a great director named Mel Damsky on that. He said, we're going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. That was the first thing he said to the entire crew on our first day, because the wind changes, the sun changes, the crowds on the ship change. We could not tell people, you can't stand there. We could cordon something off and say, filming here, if you walk here, you're going to be in a movie. But there were a lot of logistics. So it was a real creative challenge for me, technically, I guess, because if you can do that, you can really do anything. I did a movie, 15 years ago or so, called Meltdown for FX, and we filmed it at the biggest wastewater sewage treatment plant in North America.
Oh my gosh.
Don't even go there. But it was supposed to be a nuclear power plant, and it was about a fictional takeover of a nuclear power plant. It's the only time I ever blew anything up in my whole career. People at Hallmark don't know this about me. I'm very proud of this movie. Bruce Greenwood starred, and James Remar, and we did that in Vancouver, but we left our clothes behind when we left that. So the reason I'm equating that to the cruise ship, because I thought Meltdown at that point, because of the stench in this Annacis Island sewage plant that we worked in. But when I got on the cruise ship, I realized the cruise ship was actually the hardest movie because of the logistics and other things, and the heat. And the traveling and the trying to get the crew to focus. There's a lot of women walking around in bikinis and a lot of guys behind the camera. So,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. But I'm really proud of it. It came out really well. And, Alexa and Carlos were lovely in the movie.
It was really cute. I enjoyed it. And so that's really funny. And
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm curious, when you're making decisions about movie, how do you know when to, like, kind of what, for lack of a better, what tropes to kind of go with? Like, how do you know we want to go with a snowball fight versus a skating scene versus we're going to build a snowman, kind of, you've got these kind of set pieces that are in a lot of these. And I'm just curious kind of how those decisions are usually made.
Well, a lot of it depends upon the weather and the location. In a movie I did in January called Snow Coming with Trevor Donovan and Lindy Booth, were working and there was no snow, and we had a tobogganing scene coming up. So we found the snow. We changed our location and we went up to the base of Whistler Mountain in Vancouver, and we found the snow. We made it work. But they couldn't really toboggan down because the snow was crunchy, so we had to pull them down and shove them down. And, those things are what you do. You kind of roll with it. There's a criteria in all these movies, particularly at Hallmark, that, in Christmas, at Winterfest, you have to have snow. We have snow. We have snowmen. We have hot cocoa. We have cookies. We have all the things that you're supposed to have. And, you can't really make any of those things any different than they are. They are what they are. But we always try to find a beautiful place and a venue and just try to do something a little bit special. We had a really pretty a campfire scene, not campfire, but, a s'mores scene out in front of their house. But it was beautiful. It was bitter cold outside. The breath was coming out of their mouth that a lot of times you don't see in these movies because they're not made during that month. And it was quite lovely.
Yeah. Because sometimes I'm like,
but there's no method to the madness.
Yeah.
And if anyone tells you there is, there isn't. You want to fit as much in as you can because you want the audience to get what they're coming to the table for, and all that, that delicious stuff that you want to see. So we get as much in as we can, and you just make your decisions upon what you can get, depending upon the snow or the snow that you can create, and it's not rocket science.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, I'm like, why did they pick skating particularly this? Because some of the actresses really struggle with the ice skating.
Yeah.
But it was, so it's interesting.
But wait till you see Christmas Town, because in Christmas Town, with Candace could really skate, and then this actor that I don't know the people at Hallmark know, but they will after this movie, named Tim Rozon. He was a great skater. I think all these Canadian guys, they all play hockey. Yeah. But the little boy, whose name slips me right now, gosh, I'm so sorry. But this kid was a big hockey player and was skating circles around both of them. We had to say, pull it back.
Yeah.
It was great. Funny. Great little kid. So, it was.
Really cool. So this new movie, All Summer Long, why don't you tell us a little bit about it and what they can kind of expect from it?
Well, what you can expect is something in addition to Melody and the Berg sisters' beautiful story and Brendan Elliott and Autumn Reeser's delicious acting, you can expect to see something really beautiful. We have this vintage yacht that's all wooden, that was refurbished, and apparently it was used as a transport boat in World War II. But it's spectacularly beautiful, and we were on the boat for probably, I would say, 85% of our filming in this town called Gibsons, British Columbia, that you had to take a ferry to get to. It's not that far from Vancouver, but you can't get there by the roads. It's north, and you have to take a ferry, and it's this beautiful, sleepy little town, like out of another time. And that's what we had, and it was really a relaxing, perfect shoot on the boat with beautiful weather, beautiful sea air, and gorgeous vistas of the mountains and other boats and ocean. And it's just, I think we have more sea on this boat than we did in Love at Sea, quite frankly, because.
Yeah. So there's quite a bit. You say 85%, is on the boat in the movie.
I would say so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like to me. Yeah. I mean, we're off the boat in the park. We're off the boat, as they're picking up shells on the beach, or we're off the boat when we go to somebody's house. But pretty much the majority of it takes place on the boat.
Very cool. I didn't realize that. I mean, it was hard to tell from the summary if they just kind of got stalled or whatever, and then would be on land most of the time, or what exactly was happening. So that's really cool. And Autumn Reeser's character, she's always wanted to be a sea captain.
That's right. Well, maybe not a sea captain. Sailor? She really was. Yeah. She was somebody that loves the sea. I kind of relate to her, and I didn't get the book for any reason. But I grew up in Florida, and I grew up on boats from the time I was a young child. And that's kind of like what I saw in Tia, even though we switched the captain being a woman. But so that was her MO, and we sat down and we talked to Tia about Autumn about her character. That's what came out. But she just loves to sail. Did she ever, was her goal to be a boat captain? No. Her goal, instead of being a lawyer that she was, just to find a career where she could work on the water. And it, for whatever reason, it just didn't happen, or her fate didn't plan that. And then one day, a captain doesn't show up to her uncle and aunt's boat, and she's there, and she pitches herself to be the new captain. Little does she know that her ex-boyfriend from college or wherever, I guess it was, they were in college or working at a resort after college, during college, before she went to law school, whatever that would be, was just hired as the chef on the boat. And it's not that he's just the chef on the boat. They're doing a restaurant on the boat. So it's like a dinner cruise, but not a dinner cruise. It's an elegant cruise. And I could, you basically know what's going to happen now. So, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So,
but wait, there's another third person that comes in.
Ooh.
A very wealthy guy that owns the biggest boat in the marina, who is, oh my goodness, drop dead gorgeous. His name is Christopher Russell. He's another Hallmark
I
actor.
didn't realize he was in this.
So,
Christopher Russell. Huh?
yes, he is. He is. So, it's really hard to choose between him and Brennan. I guess we'll have to have a vote to see who would vote for Brennan and who would vote for.
Well, I was trying to think if Brennan has played a chef before. And
I don't think he has, but he took chef lessons.
He did.
He did.
Nice.
On his own, without even telling us. I found out when he came to Vancouver, and he said, "Yeah, I studied with." I guess he could tell you these chefs here in Los Angeles that he shadowed and he watched and he learned how to be or what they do and how they live. He's a very serious actor. He really loves, even though he's the funnest guy I've ever worked with. I shouldn't say that because my other actors like Trevor will get mad, but he is. Brennan, I did All of My Heart In Love and All of My Heart, The Wedding with him, and now this, and we have some other things that we're developing together, and you just laugh. You laugh so much with him. It's like if you put Peter DeLuise and he together, and it's dangerous because you can't get a lot of work done, but we do.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fan favorite. There's no doubt. And Peter DeLuise, he's a legend. I mean, he's done so many great movies for Hallmark. And Snow Coming. So.
Yeah, he was fun on that. I do a lot. I like to work with a lot of the same people because if it works, why change it? I've done 4 movies with Terry Ingram, who did, Love on the Sidelines, and the 2 All of My Heart movies. He did All of My Heart, The Wedding, and All of My Heart in Love. And Peter did the first All of My Heart. And so it's very, I don't want to say incestuous, that's a bad word, but I mean, it is. I just, if you have a great group of people, like in the old MGM days, you just want to keep everybody together and we all want to keep working with each other. It was really funny because one of the first days of the shoot, it's like day 1 or day 2, Autumn and Brennan, I'll blow it though, but they share a kiss. Okay, they share a kiss. Or they're just together in that way. And I really felt like I had this thing, like a cat. My back got bent. And I realized, I feel like he's cheating on Lacey. It's like, I got so used to seeing them together because when they did All of My Heart, when I first showed up on set and I was watching that movie, I felt like I was just a voyeur in somebody's home because they had such a natural, beautiful relationship, and those movies are just really special to me and to the fans. So I swear that's the truth. I loved Autumn, but it was just this moment where I thought, oh my God, he's cheating on Lacey. It's bad. I'm sorry.
Is it hard to get when someone's playing a chef, which is very frequent in Hallmark movies? Is it hard to do all that food photography and get all of that all set up?
No, it's just another thing we do. We have what they call a food stylist. Come on the ship with us and to work with us, and she made all the food. Most of it was real. I think the oysters were fake because we couldn't keep them fresh all day. Oysters may have been plastic or not real, but all the food was real. All the food was real, and they eat it. And there's a scene where Peter and Anne Marie, his wife, who's also in the movie.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh my gosh!
What's going on?
We have a very exciting surprise. Why don't you tell us who is this that's surprising us? This is very exciting.
It's the loneliest man in the world looking for friends, or it's Brennan Elliott.
Yes.
But we just were singing your praises.
I know. We were just talking about how you took the chef lessons for this movie. It's very exciting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But I couldn't give all the details because I didn't know.
Yeah, I worked with a Michelin star chef named Adam Sobel, who owns about 45 restaurants, and he had told me, he goes, if you want to really play a chef, you eat all day, you drink all day, you tell employees what to do, and you stress for about 20 hours and you have no social life. And I said, wow, I'll stay being an actor.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I went to his restaurant, Calmare, which is downtown in Beverly Hills, and I just worked with him, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, if I have time, which we only had, I think, about 4 or 5 days before we actually got green to go and then shoot almost. I mean, really for me anyway. And I just wanted to kind of, within that time, find what I could to kind of make it honest and make it believable.
That's great. Well, hey, since you're the sequel king, maybe you can go back. Maybe there'll be a sequel, and you can all summer long too.
Wait, don't laugh. The Berg sisters already have a great idea. They told me last night because we were talking. I couldn't even believe how good it is. And let's just say, Brennan, it's in France.
Oh,
I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in. Are they, how are they? I haven't talked to the Bergs. Were they happy with how the movie ended up? They wrote the movie.
They're so thrilled. They're so thrilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody is. Everybody is.
Well,
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I haven't
Me
seen it.
or Rachel?
No, not you. No, Rachel.
I have not. I'll have to wait and see it on actually won't be able to see it until the week after because I'm going to be traveling this Saturday. But I'm really excited for it, definitely, because I love
That's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
And I've actually been a big fan of yours since The Nanny Express is actually my favorite non-Christmas Hallmark movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was my first Hallmark movie.
I know. I love it.
Wow.
I love the relationship between the teenage girl and Vanessa in that movie. I think it's so well done.
Vanessa Marcel, yeah.
Yeah, because that movie, it could be really like, wow, she's a lot. But I don't know. It felt so emotionally true to me. And it's really good, I think. And I also actually really like your villain kind of role in Kiss at Pine Lake. Because
Shorman, good old Shorman. Yeah.
It's so funny. He like gets out in the campground. He's like, what is all these trees?
No, that was pretty much, I think, the role that got me Warren Saget was that role. They kind of said, wow, he can play a villain and be funny. Let's get him.
Yeah, on Cedar
So I don't know. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It really is. I wish that I feel like they've moved away from that, like sort of the just awful, horrible man of business. Like, but I think it can be really funny.
I ruined it for everybody.
No.
No, I mean, I think that, there's always, look, there's these kind of archetypes that pop up, and your job is to maybe make them as human as possible. And, there's so many stories out there, and the brand is always expanding and evolving. And so, I remember when we did All in My Heart, the idea of goats in a movie was in its infancy and almost not even really an idea that was accepted. So, and then when they saw the goats steal every scene, they went, oh, we have a star here.
Yeah.
So, now that I see like every network on the world doing these movies, honestly, I've seen like, all these different networks. A buddy of mine did a movie called Falling in Love on Netflix, INN, and it's basically All in My Heart.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It really is.
Hallmark does it best, and everybody wants to,
Yeah, that was really funny.
Of which? Falling in Love?
Have a goat. They even have a goat in that one.
You're kidding.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yes, no, I'm not kidding. Hallmark starts with these beautiful stories, and everybody wants to recreate them, and I think they can't. But that's because I'm biased.
Yeah, that's really.
I don't think anybody can recreate what.
Yeah. Well.
That's why Hallmark's special.
Yeah, that's why we love it. They have a formula, but they do it well, and so there's something kind of comforting about going. You know what you're going to get, and you watch it, and you enjoy it, and so I don't know. We obviously love it. We devote that whole podcast to it. But I wanted to just quick ask you, in Christmas at Grand Valley, I loved the whole date sequence that you guys went on. I thought it was one of the highlights of Countdown to Christmas last year. It was so cute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that whole thing was, we shot the dinner date was shot at around, I think, 3 or 4 in the morning, and then the other scene of us walking down was, I think, our first scene of the movie. It was one of the very first scenes we'd done where we really hadn't, gotten to know each other yet. So, in editing, it makes it look like it's all one big seamless date, and it's very endearing, very charming, and very sweet, and that's Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, they don't do enough dates.
It reminded me a lot of,
like a lot of times.
Well, it's true. You know.
A lot of times it's like people who already knew each other from high school or, that kind of a thing. So they like, there's no like actual date that they go on. And I just thought that was so cute, the way that she was like, you think I put on my pretty dress for anybody? or do my hair. I can't remember.
And I'm like, I know. Trust me. We've been waiting 5 hours for you to put this dress and hairpiece together for the swimming. You look gorgeous. No, I'm kidding. No, she was great.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun making that. Those kids were amazing. I'm tongue in cheek. I like to have fun and make jokes, but no, it was wonderful. And the fans really, really loved the movie, and we're very, it was a lot of fun to do.
So all summer long. So I guess 85% of it, Beth was just telling me, was filmed on the ship, on the boat. Was that challenging for you?
Yeah, it just caused me complete dehydration, and I ended up in the hospital. No, really, seriously, it was so hot. I mean, I had spent 7 months. I'd spent 6 months off, so I had been at my cabin, and Beth called me and was like, "We want to do this movie on a boat," and I'm like, "I don't know, I'm not sure. I've been laying around." She's like, "Get your shoes on, get on a plane. We're going on a boat." So I said, "Okay," and I don't think I'd ever been on one. And I remember, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and I remember one of the grip guys, this guy Tyler, looking at me going, "You don't look so good." I go, "No, I feel fine." And I didn't feel bad. And then I came home, and the only reason I say that is that one of our actresses in the last movie that I just did for Crossword Mysteries passed out almost on stage from being dehydrated. We had to almost take her to the clinic. So, drink your water when it's hot. It doesn't have to feel hot. It's how it gets in your body and just drains you. And I learned a valuable lesson of how much water you need to drink. But no, it was challenging in that every scene you're moving, obviously. Like there's a movement on the boat, which is interesting. But no, I mean, Beth, she got this amazing boat that's actually a functional boat. The people go on cruises together, and they do, wedding parties and stuff. And it was really a lot of fun. And I'd never shot on a boat. I've been tossed out at sea on a boat, which I think was obviously, my fault. No, I'm kidding. No, I've never been on a boat and done a scene on a boat. So it was a lot of fun to do. And it was, that joke went over everybody's head. But
I got it.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's
the sequel to all summer long is All Night Long, trying to find Jake who can't swim and is in the ocean.
Yeah. It'll be a mystery show.
It'll be a mission show. It's an action sequence show trying to find Jake in the water.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Well,
France, are you kidding me?
What?
Sorry.
Yeah. Where's Waldo?
Yeah. That's really cool. You must have been excited to work with Autumn. She's so great.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of great things, and we had never met or had a chance to work together, and she's a very spiritual, great mom, and just a really good person. And when you work with people, you want to work with people that are, you want to have fun and work with great people at the same time, creating great content. And Beth and I have done so many films together that we know that we don't want to be in a project where we don't want to be surrounded about people that really are on the same page and are passionate about making a really good film and telling a nice story. And I think the story about second chances and, accepting yourself, accepting who you are, whether how you look or what career you want to choose, whether people are accepting of that or not. I think a lot of the messages in this movie are very profound and subtle, but at the same time, very universal, and we're really excited about sharing it.
That's great.
And I make a mean grilled cheese.
Oh, good. Yeah, you've learned from your, they're going to have you on Home and Family before you know it, cooking. And if you keep going to
some guy just asked me, I had an interview I had a little interview this morning, and the guy's like, "So do you cook at home? What do you do at home?" I go, "No, I don't cook anything." And he goes, "Well, then how did you play this role?" I go, "I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure if it's any good. Maybe you let me know if I can cook." I don't cook at home, the wife does, but no, it was very funny.
Cool.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun. Beautiful shots.
Well, this was such a fun surprise.
And I'm very excited. I want people, they asked what my favorite scenes were, Beth, and I said, I obviously all of them are, they're amazing for different reasons, but I really feel like the pebble throwing scene, the skiff scene, and the end scene, and I'm not going to say anything more.
Oh.
If you're not touched by those scenes, then you might want to go find your soul or your heart or something. It's really, they're really well done. And Peter DeLuise and I have worked together before, and as has Beth, and he's a dear friend, not to mention a beautiful person and a genius. And so we got lucky all around.
Mm-hmm.
We love him. And
his wife's in it too.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
She plays
Anne-Marie.
His husband. Her husband.
One of the, they're both in it. it was a really fun time, and everybody got along great and had a great time and really wanted to make something that was a lot of fun.
And I think we did. I think we made something really different. Even though it's on brand and it's very Hallmark friendly, but it's a little bit different.
Great. Well, I'm very excited to see it. Can you I know you have a bunch of crosswords movies coming up, but do you have anything for Christmas that you can tell us about, or?
Well, I can't tell you anything except that I have to, Michelle, Victory, and I are trying to hone down which one to do. So we're making some decisions as we speak. I don't know. All I can say is I don't know if it's going to be on the Hallmark channel. It probably will be on the Hallmark Mystery Channel.
Oh, okay.
I think
Good.
A lot of the movies for the Hallmark channel are already booked, which is disappointing because I think next year I'll do one of those on there. But anytime you get a film on the network, whether it's Hallmark or Hallmark Channel, Hallmark Movie Mysteries, which is exploding too, you get a chance to share Christmas. It's an honor, and I always have a Christmas movie to share with the fans because they clamor for me to be in one, and I always kind of just. It's a real honor to be a part of that, part of that Christmas cheer,
Well, we'll definitely, once it gets closer to Christmas, I have to have you back on for a full interview because it was so much fun to talk to you, for sure. And so
I'm actually calling you from, I was doing some errands because I've been out of the country for like 3 months. I did Beth's movie and then went off and did 2 crosswords, and I'm driving around running errands, and Beth was like, I'm going on. And she's like, do you want to chime in? And I said, let's do it. Let's just surprise her.
That's really fun.
I mean, my car right now is stopped. My car is stopped at the 405 and everybody's behind me honking, but let's just continue. Let's just keep going. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
now do you see what I'm talking about, Rachel? How we have such a good time?
Now I've got all these. No, listen, Rachel, I've got all these people. I got all these people on Instagram. I'm going to have a new, not Brenny's anymore. It's going to be like #stop traffic. Hashtag Mr. Stop Traffic. I'll take it.
If you make a film in Utah, because they do make some of these Hallmark movies, then you have to let us know, because
we will.
I will. I mean, I hope next year I'm going to France. I want to go to like they shoot these movies in Fiji. I mean, I always predominantly shoot them in like Vancouver, Toronto.
I know.
I end up in those cities and everybody's like, "Hey, Brendan, what's going on? Like, can't you film anywhere else? Like, what's going on with you? Why are you here again?"
Well, we got you on the boat, so that's a step.
We filmed it where they shot Beachcombers. I don't know if you're aware of that series back in the 80s. It was a very big Canadian show.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, being a Canadian myself back in the day, my dad used to watch that religiously when I was growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
So it was a really fun time. And we had a great location. That's obviously due to Beth's brilliance. She found this amazing boat and these locations. And there's these whenever you see these great shots of the boat out at sea, Beth took those in second unit. She did all that filming, and so I'm really proud of her.
Yeah. Thank you.
I always know if our director goes down with some sort of illness, I'm just going to say, Beth, you're up. You direct us now.
Don't dare me. Don't dare me.
Well, thanks so much, Brendan. If people want to follow you on social media and stuff, how they get a hold of you?
Well, I have a lot of imposters out there, so don't follow those ones. Follow Brennan_Elliott2 on Instagram. And then I'm on Brennan Elliott on Twitter. Brennan_Elliott on Twitter. And I'll be live tweeting with the show, both East Coast and West Coast. And this week I'm predominantly just focused on, all summer long and making sure a lot of people come out and then check out a very, very different film, but a sweet film and different in a good way. And a lot of things about it are a little bit out of the box, which is fun.
Ooh, good. Great.
Cool.
And I really hope that people, I really want to say this, because I had this interview and they're like, well, what's it about? What's it about? And it's really nice when the Bergs have really constructed a script that's about a number of kind of things about, obviously a second chance at love with the right person, being free to choose what career or what you want that makes you happy. And sometimes that can create a bit of contention with people around you that love you. And I also think there's a real strong sense of, it's a movie about accepting yourself for who you are, and not only physically, but spiritually, mentally, whatever you want to do, and also the ideas of how food makes us feel, which is joy and comforting, and how being at sea is a beautiful experience, and love and romance and the summer encompasses all of that. So a lot of those metaphors, I hope, and a lot of those subtextual things, I hope they're in the film, and I hope the fans really are touched by it.
That sounds great. Well, thank you very much. And we will definitely have you on again for sure.
All right.
Thanks,
See you,
Rachel.
Rick. See you, love.
Appreciate
Beth.
it.
Love you guys.
Bye.
All right.
So Beth, that was so much fun. Thank you. One question I had.
You're very welcome.
How do you know? Okay, Brennan Elliott is the guy for this. Is you just
because I know.
I got it.
If you met him and you work with him, I know. I mean, everything he is, what you just heard, is what he brings to the table. But what's interesting about Brennan, and I would say this if he were still on the phone with us, is that I've never worked with an actor that is so prepared and so, like, he lives, eats, breathes the role. We'll go, okay, we're going out for dinner now. No, I'm going to go get ready for tomorrow. Are you sure you don't have a bite? No, I have to go prepare for tomorrow. And he does that every day, and he becomes that person. Not in the Daniel Day-Lewis kind of way, where like he lives it and doesn't shower or whatever if it's a bad role, but he's that guy. Yeah. And I would put him in any movie that I had because he could do any role, even if it wasn't tailor-made for him. That's how good he is. And you have the kind of great time that we have with him. And he's fun.
Do you have like a massive sort of like planner or spreadsheet or something that's keeping track of all of these different things that you've got your cast, you've got your setting, your location, you've got your director, you've got to
in my brain.
Yeah, it's all there.
No, after a while of doing this for like, what have I been doing this? Like, oh my goodness, almost 25 years. Wow. That shouldn't have said that, but yeah, almost 25 years. You just know. I mean, sure, I write notes down, but it's like second nature. It's like, playing tennis. You don't think about every shot, or it's all there. You know what has to happen. I think that's what makes a good producer, is just being prepared and knowing and hiring good people around you that you can count on, and and trusting those people.
Yeah.
Everybody's not always been the best or perfect. And I've learned from each of those experiences that haven't been, I use the word perfect, but optimum. So, but I think I've been really blessed in that, especially with Hallmark and the people that we collaborate with there, be it, Randy, Michelle, Bill Abbott.
Yeah.
Is the most amazing, supportive chairman of a company who takes time with every single person that will call him. He calls everybody back. He's a very devoted man, and he's wonderful with animals, but he gets behind you. I mean, he just really is a very giving and thoughtful person. And, there are things that people don't agree with, but you can talk things out with them. And, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. There's things that they know their brand.
Yeah.
They know their brand. If we want to try to bend the genre a little bit, sometimes we get away with that on certain movies that I've done. We have a male lead, and the male is heavy. It's a 50-50 with the man and the woman. It's not all the woman. And they've come to know that, the audience will accept that. But they're not, they trust you. After you deliver good movies to them, there's a certain amount of trust there.
Yeah.
And I have an amazing executive in Elizabeth Yost, who I think we've done 9 movies together, and we have a lot more in development. And she's just an amazing, supportive executive. So what can I say? I thank my lucky stars every day. I really, really do.
I know sometimes, like, from the very, very idea, can take years, but as far as
sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get a movie's been sitting there for a while, like a year or two, and then they go, oh, something fell out, or we have a slot, we're adding an extra slot. Can you pull it together? And I immediately think about it. I don't want to pull something together that I can't pull together if it's the wrong time of year, the seasons don't work, and it's going to be. But I'll call one of my partners in Canada, the people that do the actual physical production that I work with, and say, do you have a crew? Do you have the right crew? Not just any crew. Do you have the right crew? Is this costume designer available? Is this cinematographer available? Because if you don't have all the pieces that go together, one weak link can make your movie fall apart. So you can do it in months. You can do it in a couple of weeks. We need to prep usually 3 or 4 weeks to do a good prep. But sometimes we're rewriting that script as we go into production. I prefer not do that, but you have a lot of people that have a lot of notes, and there's a lot of collaborators at Hallmark, and they do care what goes into the script, so they are very much involved in what the final product is.
Yeah.
And they're, they know their formula. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. There are a lot of passionate people behind the scenes that you never hear about.
Well, I want to hear. Like, I'm not even kidding. I want to interview all those people. I think that's so interesting. And like, I was going to ask you, the Moonlight in Vermont, making that whole maple festival, was that a challenge? Was that fun?
Yeah, it was a challenge because there were no maples in where we were in Langley, British Columbia. But we found something that looked like a maple. On this property, and then we chose the property that went with that. Gosh, you really know your movies. And then the barn scene where the cow was and all the little pancake eating festival, all of that was chosen because it was near that one big tree that looked like a maple tree that was kind of a hybrid. I don't remember what kind of tree it was, but yes. There's a lot of things. You stumped me on that one, but yeah, you have to find things. I mean, I'm trying to think of other things I could think about, but I mean, a football stadium, loving the sidelines. We couldn't find a football stadium, so we took a stadium in Vancouver that was for their hockey and their football team that didn't look like the one in San Francisco, but we used the dome and then we created something else around it. So where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
I have a lot of will.
Obviously, that's great.
So I love what I do.
Yeah.
It's not a job. It's not a job. It's not work. It's not work.
They say that's the key to happiness in life is finding what you love and finding a way to get paid for it. that's
yeah. And I just, like I said, I kind of rolled into it in a very fun and organic way. And I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I'll probably work until I can't anymore. I don't see myself retiring ever. Not who I am.
Well, why would you, man?
You can tell stories. You can tell stories if you can touch people, even with simple little stories, or a Christmas story, or a story about like this one is, second chances at love. What woman or even guy cannot relate to that? The what if in your life. And this is about what if, and here they are banging into each other again. Wait till you see the meet cute. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's very cute.
That's so cool. Another one I really liked that you did is Mismatched, because I feel like that one was a little bit subversive, because you have this character who's kind of pointing out the ridiculousness of all of sort of the Hallmark wedding movies. And sort of and I liked that you had kind of the fantasy versus sort of more of a realist, and you don't have to get that realist perspective from a protagonist character, at least.
Right.
And I thought that one was a lot right.
Thank you. And they had a boat at the end. Remember the wedding on the boat?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I haven't think about boat. I didn't really think about that, but it wasn't in the script, and we couldn't find a planetarium that worked. And I just said, let's do it on a boat. They're beautiful. We were looking at a beautiful shoreline, and there were boats, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, no, we'll make it happen. You'll never make it happen. That's all I had to hear. You tell me I can't do something, and I'll do it. But that movie was really, you're right, because there's that little piece in there that was not, I don't want to say typical, but was not what you would expect. But it was really subtle, and most people probably didn't catch that because it was just subtle. He was just the guy that said certain things to her, and if you were looking at the woman like most people do, and you weren't really, here's the guy, it might have gone over your head. But that's good, Rachel. You really know your Hallmark movies.
I think that's one thing I can confidently say. Yes, I know my Hallmark movies after doing this podcast for 3 years. Thank you.
I'm impressed. I wasn't prepared for that.
If you need,
I haven't thought about Mismatched in a long time, but
if you need a resource, you can give me a call anytime about Hallmark.
And my door is open to you. Always. Hey, you may have a good idea for the next Hallmark movie. You never know. We'll put some good writers on it, like the Berg sisters, and there you go.
We have so many ideas. Me and Amber are my co-host. We're constantly thinking and dreaming about our dream Hallmark roles. So that would be really
I'm
fun.
here. You know where to find me. Yes. You know where to find me.
So excited. Okay.
And Brennan can star.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is great. It's
Thank you.
Really fun. Their movies just make you feel good. I have to admit, I'm a little bit overwhelmed thinking of Christmas coming, but we're also really excited. It's going to be a really fun thing. And you have the Candace Cameron Bure movie coming. So that'll be really
Christmas
fun.
Town.
Because I feel like she always picks good projects. I mean, there's been a few that weren't like my favorite, but they weren't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like she's done like a horrible one. And
No.
And so I'm always looking forward to whatever she's doing coming up.
This is the first thing I've ever made with her. I've met her before, but I was just very impressed. She's just a lovely human being.
Do you know?
Really, she's a genuine human being. So.
I mean, of course you know, but who's directing that? The Christmas Town.
Oh my God, I can't remember. David Weaver.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
This was my first time I directed with him.
Cool.
But Candace, she did my not all-time favorite, but one of my favorite Christmas movies at Hallmark was a movie done a couple years ago, done by my competition, but a lovely woman named Trish Clifford. I think it was a Crown Media movie, and Mel Damsky directed. It was called Journey Back to Christmas.
Oh yeah, Hallmark
with
Hall of Fame.
Her and that was just it. Yeah.
That was a fun one because it was like a little bit different. It was a little bit bonkers and weird and fun. And so, I enjoyed that one as well.
Well, you just talked to Brennan and now you're talking to me. So we're bonkers and weird. What can I say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my favorite of hers is probably Christmas Detour with Paul Green. That one is so good. But she's just great. I really liked hers from last year, the Shoe Addicts one. I thought that was really fun.
I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I recommend it. It was fun. But we're really excited for Christmas Town, and then for all summer long this weekend with Autumn, because we actually got to interview Autumn last year, and she's
good.
She's wonderful. We love her.
Yeah, she's a lovely person.
Yeah.
Great lady.
So, and do you end up working with your casting director? I'm assuming like just a ton.
Well, it's, again, people that you don't talk about, but Jackie Lind in Canada, my movies would not be my movies without Jackie Lind. In fact, when I don't use Jackie Lind, I can see a difference in the not the main cast, but the day players, the secondary people that come on, and and she knows good talent. And Penny Perry at the network. There's nobody like Penny. There is nobody like her. You get her and Jackie working on a project, and you're golden.
That's
you
amazing. I will definitely be in touch with you. Some of these. That's great.
You will anytime.
Well,
anytime. I'm here for you.
Awesome. Well, what we like to do to end our interviews is we have a bunch of silly questions. And they're calling the
You mean I wasn't silly enough now?
Yeah, that's right. So here we go.
Okay.
First question.
Okay.
What is the best ice cream flavor?
Well, dark chocolate. I like chocolate gelato or chocolate sorbet.
Good.
Anything chocolate.
Okay.
But really good chocolate. Not milk chocolate, really good dark chocolate.
Okay, good. Favorite color?
Purple.
Oh, mine too. Same. Okay.
Like the Hallmark crown.
No, very true. Very on brand. All right.
But way before. I was 5 when I decided that.
Okay, good. What music are you into right now?
I love jazz lately because I've been doing a lot of traveling, and it kind of calms me on the plane when I'm on a long flight.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your go-to date night food?
In Vancouver, sushi.
Sushi. Okay, good.
And that's where I've been for a long time.
Okay. What is your go-to
But
date
not the
night?
raw stuff. I gotta go back. It's not just sushi. It's like the baked black cod, not just raw fish, but like the cooked in miso sauce at this restaurant called Miku.
Oh.
Unbelievable. Oh, Minami.
Oh, sounds good. Yum. Okay. What is your go-to date night activity?
Just going down PCH and driving down to Zuma Beach and watching the sunset, because usually there's dolphins there. You get really lucky and you can get dolphins there, and then we just go across to a little fish restaurant and have fish and watch sunset.
That sounds great.
Jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dogs or cats?
Well, I love both, but I'm a cat person. I have 6 rescues.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah,
we need more cat movies. There's hardly any. There's 9 Lives of Christmas.
Well, tell that to Mr. Abbott. Every time it's like always a dog, and I want to be asked to help with the kitten bowl.
Huh.
I have such good ideas for the kitten bowl. I've never been invited. I really think I should be invited to help with the kitten bowl.
We need to start a hashtag Beth for Kitten Bowl because this is ridiculous. Yeah, they're really, I mean, there's been like cats and dogs, but practically the only cat movie is the 9 Lives of Christmas, which is one of the best. So they need more cat movies. Okay.
Yep. Yes, we do.
Beaches or mountains?
Well, beaches, but it used to be mountains, but I can't ski anymore because of a bad accident. So.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
All right.
Happened on a mountain, so it's beaches now.
I love beaches, so I'm with you there. Okay. Suit or fancy dress or sweats?
Well, I don't like sweats, but I like comfy clothes. Just comfy clothes.
Okay. Jeans, I guess. Okay.
But I can dress up and enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Oh my, they're all so good. It's a toss-up between Thanksgiving and Christmas because Thanksgiving really.
That's another
thing. Christmas, yeah. Say it. What?
No, they should do more Thanksgiving movies. They have the whole.
I know. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, they have the whole
week. You get to talk about being thankful and what you're thankful for, and not just going around the table. Yeah. You could do a whole movie about what you're thankful for. You could do about, if you could, anyway. I'm not going to pitch movies now, but yeah.
No, it makes so much sense because you have all the family there and the shenanigans and people coming into there's so much at Thanksgiving that would be perfect for a Hallmark movie, and we've only gotten two. So
exactly.
They should.
But we'll have to push for them. We'll have to come up for a good idea.
They have a movie every single day the week of Thanksgiving. So
I know.
I mean, come on. No. Okay. No. Last question, and you can pick one of the ones you've worked on. Favorite Hallmark movie?
Oh wow.
I know it's tough.
Well, I told you Journey Back to Christmas, but that counts for Christmas. Right, yeah. But I have to say, oh my gosh, it's between the All of My Hearts and Love on the Sidelines. I can't. I just can't. It's like, could a mother pick her? It's not Sophie's choice, but could you just no, I can't pick. I can't.
Yeah, very good.
I can't. Sorry.
I understand.
I wish I could.
Well, very good. Well, I've so enjoyed talking with you. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
And
me too.
Do you have social media at all? Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
Only because the lovely ladies at the Hallmark Facebook page, Lisa Colangelo and Lori Meeker and those guys, when I started doing Love on the Sidelines, they said, well, what's your Twitter handle? I'm like, my what? I don't do that. So Lisa actually sat me down and taught me how to open the account and do it, because I'm not tech savvy, but yes, my Twitter, but I couldn't tell you it. Hold on, I have to look. My Twitter handle, I only have 476 followers, so I could use more followers to tell about the movie. I'm going to be tweeting along with Brennan and Autumn on Saturday night. My Twitter handle is @B Grossbard, GROSSBARD, Prods, PRODS, @B Grossbard Prods. I guess it means Beth Grossbard Prods, but it says if you type in Beth Grossbard Productions, B Grossbard Prods come up. But I guess all that couldn't go in the thing, so you could see how
it has to be 13
savvy I am with my thing. Yes, but I will be tweeting and I will be giving tidbits of behind the scenes. A lot of stuff happened, and Brendan even alluded to some of that I wasn't even thinking I could allude to. So now I can tell you all about it. So.
Well, good. Well, great. I'll have that in the description section. People can totally check. Make sure you're following you. That will be great. And thank you again. Really
my pleasure.
It, and we'll definitely have you back on for sure.
Call me anytime.
Okay.
Take care.
I will.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Like to thank Beth and Brennan for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun. I absolutely loved this interview. I hope you guys did too listening. So let us know your thoughts on Twitter or in the comments section. That would be really fun. And make sure you're following us all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please give us your ratings and reviews. And if you're listening on YouTube, if you can give us thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, we would sure appreciate it. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes and YouTube, and Rotten Tomatoes. So make sure to check that out. Consider becoming one of our patrons. We have so much fun, chance to talk about all of these different special experiences and these interviews and all the content that we put out. It's really a good time. And you can be eligible for giveaways that are very anybody who's a patron can enter the giveaways, and so that's really fun. So thanks so much. Really appreciate all of you, and really appreciate Beth and Brennan so much. So thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye. This podcast was brought to you by Hallmarkies for Hallmarkies. For more information about how you can leave your mark on Hallmarkies, visit hallmarkiespodcast.com. Link in the description.